once again, wanted to make it very clear, not a hater, just wanting to sit on it.
Actions speak louder than words, dude.
Rell first pick again for Dig. This is something that, obviously, talking to Diamond yesterday, they just think is broken, as does Core, who just played it, as does Huhi. I also think Rell is super strong right now, so yeah.
It's really good into a lot of melee champs. It's interesting to see how now it's going to be going up against an Azir, and I'm sure FlyQuest will pivot into like just having range in general, range and disengage. And we got the Ivern boy. All right, we're back at this.
Impact hard-locking Renekton is a bit of rich disrespect, which worries me. But I do actually like the Ivern. I think it's a very strong pick. I think it's actually really good into Vi, too, because anytime Vi engages, you can very easily counter-engage.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to slam both your solo lanes like this out of FlyQuest, and then you'll be able to pinch one because Dig can only answer one of the two. So either Rich's pool gets pinched, or I guess both if you just go for your bot lane. All right, so they just lock in the Aphelios. This leads to very mismatched picks in the first phase, which usually you don't see. Usually you kind of would match there with one of your solo lanes and then figure out from there, but looks like it's just the jungles matching.
There is a level of Prince probably being a little tilted, or they're hoping they can tilt Prince, take Aphelios, ban out 280 carries, try and make him behind in games. The stat I poked before the day was the fact that he's actually only bought 4 control wards in 5 games, which is the lowest in the whole league. And I think that's not necessarily because like he doesn't care about vision. I just feel like he's been behind so often in lane that he just feels broke all the time and has a sense of desperation. So if you're actually attacking that in draft, I don't mind it.
Yeah, and there's just a lot right now that Dignitas has that will be a threat to him. The Vi and Aphelios and Rell have a lot of CC and great setup just in general, so I would expect that to be the case here. I think just throughout the 5 games that FlyQuest has had, Prince has been the obvious target. The Malphite engages have been right on top of his dome in the TSM game. So it's like, now that you're right, they're just picking off the 80 carries that would be pretty good in this situation, including a pretty broken Varus, which I'm surprised we're not picking. But it's going to be a good challenge to see what he's going for. When you have this much support, because we haven't seen the support pick from FlyQuest just yet, but we've seen an Ivern, so a lot of the pressure is going to be on him. He can go in a lot of directions. Like Kog'Maw is a good example of like a pick that we've seen in solo queue that's really paired up well with an Ivern. I don't think that's going to be the case here, but just throwing out there that he has now a list of champions. So Jinx, I think, will probably be the pick.
That would be lame.
Ooh, okay, so
what can't Rich do?
Oh, it's Faker.
We saw this. Okay, really quick. We saw this in LCK. It was played. It's a static Shiv, probably Quinn top.
Yeah.
And it won.
Yeah, Quinn into Renekton is an old school actually counter that people used to do all the time. You can get the pushback on when he tries to dash in, stop him from getting a second dash, you blind him, it becomes very hard to play for the Renekton side. So it is a common counter pick, we just don't usually see it.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember way back, like the Shy would pick it so frequently and a lot of times have cleanse in lane just in case that the Renekton wants to try and just all in, stun, get the burst off. Not possible here. So actually, this is gonna be a really fun game, but man, you are on a timer. If you can't get a lead and can't snowball that early on in this game, it's going to be a challenge. So I really want to see what Dignitas can do alongside that. That's going to be a really good test for Rich in the LCS.
We got really excited about the top lane. We do have to mention Kaisa, Nautilus locked in for the bot side, one of the old staple combinations for anyone who plays the marksman position.
I also got to say, 9 days ago, you would not think Fly vs Dignitas would have this level of importance. But it absolutely feels like it does here, as FlyQuest is yet to win a game.
How'd you get an odd number when you got to hours? If it was 9 days, you said it was like 219 hours.
Yeah, from the start of LCS to the moment of the presentation.
Oh, I see.
So you're fudging the numbers.
I got you.
That's it. Cashers, take it away.
Thank you, Analyst Lounge, and welcome back, everybody. I am so happy. It has been years that we have known Quinn.
Holy shit! We can split push up here. I would also say this matchup is actually decently prevalent in solo queue, and junglers have a huge influence. So you do take the cleanse for the all-in attempts from the Renekton with the stuns. I would say that I even have more faith behind this Rich counter pick, knowing that they already saw the Ivern jungle, and Ivern early on does not have the biggest threat here because you have to spend your entire time switching back and forth on your bottom side camps to be able to pick up your first clear. My preferred route for Spica this time around would be channel red, channel Raptors, go Q smite the blue, channel Gromp, then Wolves, and then you would be able to ping pong, go pick up the camps and get back to the top side of the map and be able to answer that matchup and try and help out Renekton so you don't lose a lot of CS. But it looks like he's going to do the Wolf side blue start instead of the top variation that we're talking about for ending there.
So, okay, Kobe, we haven't seen a lot of Ivern in the LCS just as a whole. I know that you are an Ivern fan, so for anybody that's not aware out there, give me the TLDR of what's changed.
Well, what's changed is they gave steroids to Daisy. That's the TLDR.
Okay, it's not Ivern changes, it's Daisy.
Daisy got turbo juiced, and you can even go a Night Harvester build to give Daisy even more juice because Daisy could just chase people down and pound them into the ground. She got attack speed. She also got move speed, so it's hard to get away from her for the knockups. So really have to be aware and work around the cooldowns of Ivern, especially early on, the ultimate cooldown. They also gave the shield, if it's going to expire and not do damage to people, then it will re-shield the person you put it on. So there's a lot of safety there. And with the start that we're seeing here from Spica, since he did start on the top side, Ivern's just opposite to other junglers, where since you have to channel and then come back to your camps, it means you will ping pong to the other side. And we'll see about him, looking towards the Prince Nautilus side of the map, since if you start on blue side, you channel them, you pick them up later, and you have to go back to red side and end towards mid-bottom to be able to get your Raptors. So Impact will be left in the early stages at the mercy of the Quinn and the pushing power, the range disadvantage. The early parts of it actually are sustainable for Renekton. Starting with Doran's shield plus a potion here, you just kind of seed the push. You're like, fine, it's okay if you push in. I will just try and preserve health and preserve CS here. Under tower, it's now up to Rich to try and make Impact miss those CS. You see him harassing, poking, trying to deny as many CS to the tower as he can, and he's done a pretty good job while also getting himself the ward. Nice little E there too. That is the mechanic you're looking for. The E is your trump card over the Renekton to get your little chunk. And Q is so annoying to deal with. Anytime you're able to deny vision like that on the trades, especially to the melee champions. Now with the top side pressure fully seated, Santorin walks on down and we'll be able to secure top side Scuttle Crab for them. Meanwhile, Spica should be able to just end on bottom, no problem for him.
Yeah, the secret sauce of that Quinn versus Renekton interaction is even if Renekton's first dash finds you, nice flash escape from Tomo there, but Vulcan and FlyQuest are still ready to go in. First blood over to Vulcan, and FlyQuest is on the board.
This is something that FlyQuest have desperately needed since they've come back in summer, is success on this bottom lane. They brought in Vulcan, this big powerhouse change in the bottom lane that people were looking towards to have big results, and it simply hasn't been there so far in summer, but he makes it true here. He also got the kill credit, so it's not ideal Princeton get the money to fund the Kaisa build, but he did get the flash out of the brush play to surprise Tomo, and it's a good timing here since Rell went for the roam. Goes for it. Even though Tomo was able to get the flash away on the auto, he still hit the hook. So good job here from Vulcan, hitting the hook after the flash, and then he still had his passive. It's really the only way you get your good counter jungling or instant crab takes with the champ. And honestly, if you can gank the Quinn early, and Spica might be going for it now, even though you've got cleanse for the stun, Ivern's shield applies the slow, and he's got the Q, which will allow Renekton another dash if he can hit the Q.
Well, Rich knows something is up here. Impact cannot close the distance to apply that point-and-click stun with a ruthless predator.
He didn't show yet. Now he shows, though.
Nice sidestep from Rich. Letting him know, hey, man, what gives?
And then he pops the W afterwards to make sure he gets vision of Spica, and he knows Spica is, in fact, leaving the area. So Spica did have the route up there, but unable to make it happen. Impact went in for the trade on Rich early and got fully kited out, chunked out pretty low. He still has one health potion, though.
And as I was talking about before we got the first blood in bottom lane, even if the first dash from Renekton gets the second one and puts him right on top of Quinn, the distance she gets from her E is more than enough to escape any further engage and prime her for a winning trade on him. It's such a difficult matchup to play from the Renekton side.
That's why all Rich really has to worry about is tracking Spica, because unless the Ivern gets his Q on you and gives Impact the ability to get the free dash there from the landed Q and then the follow-up slows from the shield, should be able to keep him at arm's length and doing a very good job increasing that CS lead. He gets a turret plate while Impact is farming, but here's the all-in, gets the cleanse for ultimate.
Impact still having his own flash here, Rich having his as well, but as the Dominus slowly wears away, Impact is going to be right back where he was earlier. Rich, of course, having a nice CS lead here, going to go back and shop and get a little bit of extra power. I would assume, as per most range versus melee matchups in top lane, boots are going to be a priority for both these guys. You can see Impact did get the stun there, finds a little bit more damage onto Rich, but again, the Quinn just wanted to go back anyway, and now that he has level 6, he'll be able to get back to the lane nice and quick. That is one of the concerns early on if you die because you don't have a TP.
Nice hook.
But now another nice hook coming out from Vulcan on the other end of the map. Means that Diamond loses a chunk of health. Santorin did manage to sneak away the Scuttle Crab here in the bottom side river while that was all going down. But it's Vicla who's got control over mid, so Santorin's got to get away.
We got the Rich cam up on top side. Valor hang gliding in.
Yes, sir.
This is about the slowest that you'll see Quinn. Pretty soon you get the zooms around the map. The ideal way to play this champion is to get such a good lead in your Renekton in the 1v1 on top side that once you get your item completed here, then you can start making your roams to go make plays on other lanes. And that's the reason why you want to take a lot of hard CC elsewhere, similar to what we're talking about with the Kindred jungle. Meanwhile, it is going to be a collapse here.
Ooh, Jensen with the flash away from Vicla, who wanted to go after him there with a Shurima Shuffle. The Emperor's Divide. Flash stun from Impact with a Ruthless Predator as Jensen does get away from it yet again. Tibbers putting a lot of damage into Vicla here. He's only 100 HP on the Azir. The Drake win over to Dignitas. Early Ocean for them.
That's actually huge for Dignitas, not only because they got the dragon, but Impact is so screwed now in top side.
Yeah.
Rich gets a double stacked cannon wave in to get another turret plate, and Impact has no flash now. Quinn with flash advantage, you are certainly at the mercy of the Quinn now as a Renekton, and it should be an instant startup here on the Rift Herald after that failed play mid. Impact was kind of frustrated, wanted to get at least the kill onto Annie. If you can't kill the Quinn, try and go for the Annie roam on mid lane. He's unable to get it. Ivern does pop Daisy, but the Herald should be smited already.
Yeah, Rich and Santorin.
Can he get the E angle?
Trying to get away here. Yeah, Rich trying to get over the wall there. Flashes. Diamond's there to protect him. Impact pops the Dominus, but it's a no-flash Renekton. Santorin's the target now. Impact stuns him up, and FlyQuest gonna grab kill number 2.
Nice chase down kill for FlyQuest. What else can they get in the aftermath? There is a smite on Spica, so he has one counter jungle available. He uses it on the Raptors. I don't think they went to check red, so he didn't know he could use his smite counter jungle on the red. Instead, they just take that and they roam on down to the other side. The price you end up paying for that Rift Herald is the 1 kill, and then the map control that ensues after you get that kill does allow FlyQuest to get a little bit of deep vision. You see those 2 wards around mid lane, and they're rotating all the way to bottom lane on the pushing wave. Idea here, try and deny the wave from Tomo.
Yeah.
He can look at it, but
they don't want him touching it.
Can't touch it until the rest of FlyQuest go away, and the rest of them do end up retreating and allowing him right back in, so a small amount denied there.
All right, Rich heading right back up into the top side here, has the completed boots. Again, the importance of boots in range versus melee matchups, pretty paramount. But in mid lane, Jensen going for some burst onto Vicla. Remember, Vicla already got rid of the flash from Jensen last time around, so with Vulcan and Spica rotating up, it's an easy kill for the FlyQuest mid laner. A 3-0 game now for Fly.
Yeah, I'd say thank you, Impact, for your sacrifice when he flashed as Renekton to trade for that flash too. That means 2 kills onto the Azir, so Impact is actually paying a very good weak side sacrifice for Renekton. His flash in the mid lane trading with Jensen did end up giving them over another kill, and Vicla is being fed in this game. Now Impact, though.
Yep, he didn't see Santorin coming up. Vault Breaker getting charged. Rich continuing to position aggressively, though, to make sure that he's not giving away the fact that Santorin is there, but Impact being as respectful as he possibly can. Now tries to dive in. Slice just finds him eating some auto attacks as per usual.
I wonder if they get timings here, because it is support recall timers. Both supports spend their recall timers to go mid, though. And it looks like Ivern clearing up towards top side will be the only one.
Yeah, Spica's going to come over the wall. You'd think. Ward placed down. Rich is aware of what's going on. Nope, Spica, as soon as they see the control ward in the brush, he's like, I know I won't be able to kill this guy. So they don't even bother going for it.
Yeah, he still has cleanse.
Yeah.
So frustrating to try and complete that play when he does have cleanse, and you don't have vision of the Vi either. Since that control ward was placed and Santorin was camping topside, it's pretty scary if you get counter ganked in that scenario. If Vi is there and you get the Vault Breaker out of a brush, then you are super screwed in that 2v2.
Santorin taking the chance to walk up into lane brush here as Rich is going to continue pushing this wave in, trying to get FlyQuest to make some kind of an answer.
That tower's dead, Flowers. Activation of the Rift Herald means Rich will indeed.
Oh, wow. Santorin going in for a dive here, but I don't know about this one. He's going to tank a ton of damage. Santorin, what was that? He gets impact, a ticket right back into the game. Rich is going to be careful now. He might die too. That was terrible.
You can say that again, Flowers, because the tower wasn't quite dead yet. You have to let Shelly charge in there and then slowly finish it off. But he goes in tower range. Impact punishes the weak side king yet again, Flowers. He gets his kill. He even allows the defense of the tower, but bottom side dive as well.
FlyQuest going in from a dive here. Jensen ready to reinforce. Flash, three-man stun coming out with the Timbers. Jensen gets the kill on Vulcan, and Spica has to flash back over the wall to escape. Diamond's ready for a follow-up, but with Vicla reinforcing FlyQuest lines, Dignitas got to make sure they don't overextend too much. Santorin is back alive. He rejoins the team down here too, but remember, he has no ulti. Santorin, normally a player who makes good calls, who can find opportunities, but just not looking for the right moment there in the top lane, costs Rich and himself quite a lot.
Yeah, I feel for the top laner in that scenario. You're a little bit peeved. You were about to get a Rift Herald crash and then try and just force him out and finish, but on the opposite side, another little bit of a fiasco on the tower dive, and Dignitas in the end got the chase on bottom side, and then we'll still end up getting the tower. So they're at least happy about the bottom side play. Impact though, he kind of aggroed Santorin. You know, when he placed his control and stopped his recall.
Yeah,
it's actually just like a top laner play, knowing he can tilt the jungler. Tomo is toast.
Yeah, Tomo's gone. Nice moves from Vicla there. 3 out of the 5 kills for FlyQuest are on that Azir in the mid lane.
Vicla having a big bounce back this game. He's truly been lacking for FlyQuest so far in summer, but this is his game to carry. 3 kills on the Azir, perfectly set up.
Rich has his static shiv now on the Quinn, gonna make it that much easier to hard shove these waves, try to roam around with the behind enemy lines. You can see the experience bar in the bottom left part of your screen, over halfway to level 11, so an even more powerful ulti there, teaming up with Valor as he steals away the Gromp, adds a little bit of extra gold, tries to keep Spica a little bit behind. Santorin does have a nice tempo lead in the jungle. He's up about 20 CS, he's up about a level, so he's got that going for him. But man, we've got to make sure that Dignitas is going in at the right times on these plays. It's the classic Vi bait. You're just like, uh-oh, I hope you don't ult me here. And then you take him back to a spot where you've either got allies or a turret waiting.
Yeah, Impact knew what he was doing. Drops the ward, pokes him, and then runs back under turret.
Yep.
Perfect aggro there. Able to get one. See about the move now, though.
All right, Santorin.
All right.
Can we find an angle here? Impact going to be found out by Rich, who swoops in. Doesn't find a whole lot of damage onto him. Total gold in the game. You can see it's still Rich, about 500 out in front of the next closest person, which is Vicla. And then Vicla's 1,000 ahead of anybody else. So
That top wave.
These are the two you got to keep your eyes on. Vicla shoving that wave up into the turret here as Rich tries to speed back to answer. The turret should not drop. Rich will show up here. Static shiv.
Nice.
There we go. Nicely done. Throws out the blinding assault to clean up those backline minions. As Impact and Vulcan want to find themselves an opportunity up here. Rich! Fast enough to get away.
Thank you, Valor. Able to slip out of that one. They actually... Okay, Jensen cancels his recall. I was like, you need to keep on pushing down there because FlyQuest just showed 3 top. So he cancels the recall on bottom side. Annie should be able to answer and help out with the trade because FlyQuest do secure their top side tower and allowing Dignitas to push out mid plus bottom. Jensen's going to have to push through one more cannon wave to be able to finish off the bottom side turret, but Tomo gets a decent little chunk here on mid as well, while Santorin takes away Raptors. So Dignitas faring pretty well in response to the FlyQuest attempted play, 3-person top.
So let me ask you this. We're in a very close game state, but FlyQuest has a nice advantage in terms of kills at least. For this team that has not yet found a win so far here in summer, what do you want to see them do to find it here?
All you have to do is teamfight around this Azir while marking these flanks for the Quinn. Quinn's teamfight is a bit lacking compared to her side lane and her map roaming. So if FlyQuest can just focus on objective setup 5-on-5, try and draw Dignitas to you, and have a decent amount of warding for your flanks, push out your mid lane first, then rotate into the objective, then they can try and have a stand-up fight. If they can fight front to back, they've got the Ivern Enchanter, and they have a fed Azir for mid lane. So they do have some pretty good options if they're able to get that standard fight. But Rich is not going to let that happen. He's static Shiv Quinn, okay? You're zooming around side lanes, you're deleting minion waves, and then you're roaming in for all these flanks and looking for these picks and harassing FlyQuest as they try and set up.
He also has his second item fully completed, the first player on the map to have 2 full items complete. Kraken Slayer there too means this guy is deadly in those 1v1s, especially with how Kraken Slayer works now with reapplications. But the Herald summon up in mid. Diamond might just die. He goes in for the Magnet Storm, but he crashes down on nothing with a TP ready to bring in reinforcements. Prince finally gets a kill, and FlyQuest is feeling good.
That's perfect for FlyQuest. They want the straight up fight, and Shelly's going to lead the charge into turret number 2. They can keep up the pressure here.
They're gonna keep looking for more. Rich, he popped the cleanse with the dredge lines ready to follow. Rich wants to fire back a little bit further now, and Vulcan's gonna die. So is Impact, so is Prince. Dignitas going in, but Santorin won't be able to get any more. The Sun Disc keeps him protected as Tomo's ready for the chase. He's got red, he's got purple, he's gonna mow him down. Double kill back over to Aphelios, and the completed ace for Dig.
Smooth there for Tomo. He blue guns into purple gun, into swap over, proccing red gun after the last bullets on blue gun, chases them all down, gets the root to boot. Beautiful stuff from Dignitas off of the failed tower dive from FlyQuest. I mean, this is a look at the early pick. Diamond goes down, his crash down only hit Daisy. Then you're like, okay, they've got Daisy out, they've got the Rift Herald coming through, they're gonna keep up the charge. But look at the mini-map. Annie is flanking over through the jungle flowers, and there's no vision on him up until the dive commences. They go for the dive. Jensen's here just in time. Jensen flashes on the back line, kills Prince, while the rest of the dive members are taken out, and Rich was able to kite back easily under the tower. Then Tomo, as we're talking about, able to just kite them down as they're running away.
And on top of the whole fight, here's the detail we didn't even mention yet. They got soul point off of that. Now Impact is having a very interactive gameplay experience against Static Shiv, Kraken Slayer, Quinn in a side lane. He has to flash just to not die for free. Man, this is troubling. You can even see the itemization difference for Impact this game compared to what a Renekton would normally build. He's like, Gore Drinker, I'm not going to have a chance to do anything. Stride Breaker, I have to try to slow this Quinn down or do something. But man, Rich is just so far ahead.
All right, let's see what they can do with it. Hard push on bottom side. Keep on looking for that pressure. A little bit more vision work to do for Dignitas to keep looking for these picks. There's 30 seconds on Baron, so you can move your vision resources up towards the top half of the map now, because you've got a long time before the next dragon. Baron will be up, even though your threat on starting it isn't super big. You do have, especially if Tomo's able to find red white guns and switch over, then you can have some threat and try and push out side lane there with Rich, roam up on the Quinn, and play the map here against FlyQuest to try and reduce the amount of jungle camps that they can continue farming.
Also easy for Rich to go in and follow. If Santorin doesn't ult, or even Jensen doing a flash ult engage there, anything, it's easy for the Quinn to follow that one up, zooming in behind them with the amount of speed that he has. And it's even easier for him to push out these side lanes and then just pop the ulti behind enemy lines and end up regrouping with your own lines. Dignitas setting up a potential trap here in the side lane brush. Just going to see if anybody from FlyQuest might be showing up. Tomo's the bait, but nobody's hungry on FlyQuest's side. Spica just going to plant that grove there. Going for the Mikhails here as the second item. Wants to have some sort of a get-out-of-jail-free card for one of his carries. Be able to bail Vicla out if he gets engaged on or something. The Azir still kind of the main character of the FlyQuest team with the Leandries, Shadowflame, Mercury Treads all completed. Dignitas still up about 2,000 gold, 2.5 minutes until what'll be the Mountain Soul for Dig. They don't have anybody that's exceptionally tanky. Vi is a bruiser, Rell obviously on a support budget, but that Mountain Soul shield's still gonna help a lot.
Yeah, Dig's plan, we don't tank any damage. We just kill them in the burst. we've got Annie stun, we have so much CC. We've got Vi ultimate, we have Rell follow-up. So they have huge amounts of CC, as well as plenty of damage to follow it up. So looking and watching out for those Annie flank plays. That's why they're trying to clear out so much vision here, set themselves up. They've got definitely some very quick possibilities.
You only take damage if somebody's alive to deal damage to you. Tomo's gonna get engaged on here by Vulcan.
Ooh.
Diamond dives in, but he's all alone. That's the second time this game these Rell engages have not been coordinated, and Diamond just drops dead.
Yeah, that was for sure some miscommunication too, because the rest of the team was not going in. All right, Flowers, aftermath of that play, no Rell on your squad left. FlyQuest starting up the Baron. What do you do?
Well, Tomo's got Infernum, so we might be able to see some AoE down here in the pit. Santorin blasted back into the pit, but a beautiful ulti to get himself back to safety and kill Vicla off in return. FlyQuest in some trouble now. Vulcan's gonna be picked up next. They already killed Azir, and there's problems for FlyQuest. Rich is gonna 1v1 Impact as Prince comes in to try to help him. Rich in a 1v2. He can't quite find it. Prince and Impact stay alive, but the Baron goes over to Dignitas. I gave Santorin a hard time for the bad ult earlier, but that one was perfect. He's thrown into the pit. He ults right back out. He smacks Vicla in the mouth, and they win the fight.
That was one of the funniest reverse blast cones that we have seen, Flowers. Blast cones into the pit, and then since Impact went over to actually pop him in, and the idea was to kill him there, they then just jump on the carry on the other side. As you say, Santorin ults over, and they already had Jensen flanking, so they actually just turn it around. It's so funny that this is now 2 fights, where the way the fight starts out is they sacrifice Diamond.
Yeah.
So Diamond down, looks like the fight is gonna go good for Dignitas. You just don't know it yet, okay?
Okay.
So Jensen and Rich are flanking around. So Santorin actually just gets blast coned over to his teammates that are flanking. And since Impact is outside the pit now still, he actually tried to go back in, and the ult from Santorin pushed him over too. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Okay. Well,
Coming
another
back to
pick.
live, Rich is dead.
Maybe this is the same
I don't know.
as
dude.
when
That's Quinn.
Diamond gets picked off. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think instead this was rather just a pretty big error there from Rich getting picked off, and that means that FlyQuest are going to stop what would have otherwise been a 24-minute Soul. All right, let's see how this happened.
Okay. So they're looking for Vulcan. They couldn't quite get the range on the stun there on the Q. And then Vulcan just nails him with the hook.
Yeah, that was just disrespectful from Rich. I don't know what that was. All right, everybody gets one. Everybody gets one. That was Rich's one. You're gonna have to be careful. That's the thing on a champion like Quinn. If you start to lose your momentum, you start to fall any bit behind, you're gonna have some troubles. He's still feeling great. His farm is fine. He's nearly got his 3rd item completed, but it's still something you don't want to be giving those away for free, especially not when the team has Baron.
Yeah, and especially not when you are, looking at stacking dragons. So that is the perfect timing for FlyQuest to get that hook out of Vulcan as well. Earns them that objective, just stalls the game so much for them, buys them a lot of time. So very necessary little comeback play there from FlyQuest then.
Especially losing the Baron on a champion that always wants to be alone. Impact went in. Now Diamond's gonna Magnet Storm on a couple of valuable targets. They kill Prince, they kill Impact, and they're going even further. Tier 2 turret's about to die. Vicla popping the stasis, trying to keep himself alive. He'll at least take Diamond with them. But Dignitas have already killed 3. A double kill back over to Rich, redeeming himself for the pick in mid lane, as Dignitas might just end the game right here.
Yeah, they've got Baron and they're marching towards those Nexus turrets.
Here we go, Vulcan and Spica. Not a lot of damage to speak of between them as Dignitas continues going forward. They'll find Vulcan first. 1 Nexus turret's already gone. Spica's planting some grass, but it's only flowers for his tomb. The Nexus turrets fall, and Dignitas goes up to 3-3, taking down FlyQuest in 25 minutes.
Dignitas already tying their wins from spring. They are 3-3. They are even here in summer. So much better already with the addition of